Welcome to the Peak of Fiction podcast, the podcast where we dive into the very best movies, TV, anime, comics, and more to find the ultimate peak of fiction. Our hosts are the one and only CW connoisseur, Super O,
How's it going? How's it going?
Superman fan club president, Beto,
Hola, how you guys doing?
and the one and only speed racer truther, Colin, aka Bait the Dust. Welcome to another great episode of Peak of Fiction. And the subject we will be covering today is uh, 2023's Godzilla Minus One. Uh,
It's been so long since that movie came out.
I know. It really was a well, this is gonna be maybe poor taste, but a bomb that was dropped in theaters in 2023, and
Too soon.
the okay. What I mean by that was it completely changed the scope and really revitalized what people thought of Godzilla when it came out. But we'll talk about all of this and more as we go into our deeper discussion. But and of course, in our efforts to find the peak of fiction, we'll be grading this film on a curve. We'll be talking about its visuals, art and design, the characters, the writing and dialogue, its X factor, and of course, perhaps the most important category, what is hype about it, and does it have any aura? So,
Hmm.
without further ado, let's talk about Godzilla Minus One. So, what is your, I'm returning to this movie after a few years, and I know we all saw this in theaters when it came out in the West about, I think, December 2023. And after that time, what do you all think about it? What's your immediate reaction to this film?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I liked the portrayal of Godzilla in this movie, and also the fact that this is one of the few Godzilla movies where the human subplot is just as interesting, if not is the main crux of the movie. We're gonna get into it later with the characters, but I think Shikishima's a really good protagonist, and you kind of
I,
see
I'd,
him.
I'd be very careful with that statement, because I think real Godzilla heads will fry you for that statement. But continue.
Womp womp.
I don't care. I don't care. You know what? Godzilla is meant that way. But nah, Shikishima's a really good protagonist, or at least a human protagonist of this movie, and it's really cool to see uh, Japan band together to take down this threat.
Beto?
Yeah, just what he Super O said. This one is like it's a really good film. Um, it kind of like it's like one of the best ones yet. Uh, the human story is not just throwaway, and it just doesn't. It didn't feel like it was like boring enough. It's really sparked the whole film and just added more weight to just the destruction, and it's just like a really great movie. And yeah, I thought it was like a really great. And I watched this twice just to let the simpletons know that I watched this in color and in black and white. Who
Oh,
knew?
me too. Me too. See, I thought it was gonna be the special one.
Yeah.
This pod. But yes, I also watched it. I rewatched it recently in I believe it is called Minus Color. Uh, it's not like the perfect black and white rendition, of course, because the movie was shot for color, so it's not gonna necessarily look the same as a black and white movie. But a lot of the Godzilla scenes are especially striking in black and white.
Yeah,
But we can talk about that more when we get to the visuals a bit later on.
we'll get back to that.
Uh, Now, Godzilla Minus One is directed and written by Takashi Yamazaki, of course, with help from Ishiro Honda and Takeo Murata, and is starring. Oh, we're gonna try here. Ryonosuke Kamiki as Koichi, Minami Hamabe as Noriko Oshii, um, and Muntaka Aoki as the scientist Tachibana. Actually, that is not true. He's not the scientist. That is the person that harasses him. Uh, anyways, a lot of stars. I will not go through every single cast member, but the cast very good in this film. So to really begin discussions on Godzilla Minus One, we can take a little tour through the core plot, and let's talk about the opening uh, to this movie. Well, actually, before we talk about the opening, let's talk about the setting. Uh, this film takes place, in particular, in 1946 Japan, in 1947, right after the end, and a couple years after World War II. Japan has been completely destroyed and demoralized uh, by the war effort, and people are really starting from not just zero but minus. Hence the title of the film Minus One. It is an effort to get back to normalcy after losing everything. And through the vehicle of this country that's dealing with recovering from being firebombed, from being crushed um, on a physical and moral level, they have to deal with a secondary threat, which is a direct result of the war that threatens to uh, take even more and permanently stop Japan's ability to ever recover from World War II. And this very interesting setting starts with our protagonist, Koichi Shigeshima, um, at the very end of World War II, landing his plane for repairs at a Japanese base on Odo Island. Now, what do we think of this opening scene?
This opening scene was a very interesting opening because I never really seen a lot of like I don't know Japanese film where our character is a runaway soldier. I would have to say. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's
Yeah,
a really strong kind of deal to start with. Um and I thought it was really great and just showing the um not showing a lot, but showing the threat that Godzilla is, and just setting the tone of the characters um, that we are meeting is really good, and it was really interesting to see what kind of character that we're going to be dealing with and how much depth he has.
yeah.
And I found, oh,
Oh
keep
yeah,
going.
I was gonna say yeah. I just think it's interesting how yeah, like Beto said, how he starts as like a deserter, and I think this really is kind of the start of his whole character arc throughout the film, uh, and stuff that happens prior to this. What the later attack uh, is kind of you could see it kind of like building onto him about this part of the movie really shows that he's I mean the movie says he's a coward, and I guess like technically he is, But at the same time, I ain't gonna lie. If I was in this situation that he was in, I'd probably do the same, dog. It ain't even.
Well, it's funny. We keep using the word deserter, right? But it's not deserter in the typical soldier sense that you would say, right? It's not like, oh, his unit. He's part of a unit. I mean, he technically was part of a unit, but he is his job as a soldier was a kamikaze pilot, right?
Yeah,
His job was to try to maybe shoot down some planes or whatever, but ultimately to kill himself, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
The the way those zeros were designed, with very limited attack capabilities and usually with extra explosive capabilities. Uh, the whole point of them was so these pilots were usually very young men who were trained just enough, maybe plied with promises of glory or their family would be compensated, and doped up with drugs and alcohol, would fly with the effort to slow down the American war effort by ultimately blowing up their plane on American ships.
yeah,
So I think Koichi made a smart choice to not kill himself, because at that point in the war, it was pointless, right?
yeah, yeah.
There was no Koichi dying would not have benefited anyone at all. Um, but of course, this leads to connecting with our new character, the lead mechanic, Sasaku Tachibana, who very quickly, without saying a lot, but very quickly understands that Shikishima is not uh, landing there because of technical difficulties. Because the story that he's running with is that because of his plane's inability to fly, he can't carry out his mission. Right? And it's very obvious to him and other people around that there's nothing wrong with the plane. And I think it's very good how they're able to capture um, this sort of feeling with very little dialogue, but a lot of facial emotion from the actors, a lot of face acting in this movie, just in general. A lot of people looking at each other and
Yeah.
doing small expressions, and you can understand the dynamics at play.
They were just mugging each other, just mugging looks, just like I know what kind of person you are.
And it's funny that even some of the people on the island are like, actually, it's good that you're not going to kamikaze yourself. And when you think about it, Koichi's actually a pretty good pilot and a very good shot as well, as we see later on in the movie. Um, so him kamikaze himself is just a waste on every level. But I think it's this and the later events that happened with the introduction of Godzilla uh, really set up the grand overarching theme of the film, or one of the themes of what is the nature of sacrifice, and um, is throwing your life away um, worth it, right? And the importance of living, what a person can do by staying alive and keeping going, even if it seems cowardly, or even if it seems like the typical brave or heroic thing is to, uh, go down in a blaze of glory. There's much more value in living, uh, and we see the beginnings of this here. How do we feel about Tachibana?
I like him. Uh, I think his role is pretty. I mean, he I
It's not
like the
much.
yeah. He's not really in the movie like all that much, but I think his connection to Shiki is pretty good, especially when you see it at the end point where Shiki only wants him to make his plane and no one else.
Oh, and also I forgot to say this. We will be spoiling Godzilla Minus One. In fact, furthermore, we will be spoiling
This whole
Godzilla.
podcast.
Uh, every Godzilla, all of them.
Every Godzilla.
Uh, I mean every Godzilla we could think of, because we will be comparing this to other Godzillas. So specifically, Shin Godzilla, uh, Godzilla 1954, and probably the events of the 2014 MonsterVerse Godzilla are kind of all up for grabs in this podcast. So you have been warned. I don't think you've been spoiled for anything too bad yet. So if you still need a reason to watch it, please do. So we are introduced after this scene, right? And then there's a little bit of time as it goes from day to night. We are introduced to the titular character of the movie, Godzilla. And Godzilla at this stage is still kind of like a big dinosaur, and I think he's introduced in a really cool way, in a very unsettling way. And I appreciate the fact that he's kind of known already, like he's like a local legend with the people of the island, and you can tell he's going to show up because of the deep sea fish, and you get this nice visual of these fish, um, whose kind of like organs are kind of like popped out because they're from the deep and they've uh, rapidly risen to the surface because of Godzilla, and it's such a like a striking visual of these dead puffed up creatures as like kind of an omen for something worse on the way.
Yeah.
Which, I think is also good setup for uh, how Godzilla is ultimately defeated. Uh, but we will get
That
to
is
that
true.
in a bit. What do we feel about Godzilla? Our initial look at the monster in this form.
In the first form that he is in.
Yep.
I think it's a good start. Just going off of the first scene. Like they don't show. I mean, do they show a lot? I don't think they do. I think the his physical form with the darkness and shadows.
Yeah, I think that was the point. Just making him like just hide a little bit.
Yeah, like look for
It's not his
bone
true
and
form yet.
Yeah.
yeah, this isn't even like peak Godzilla, and he's still like messing up like everyone. He's killing all the soldiers. Uh, he's definitely set him up as a like significant threat, and this is before like all his other abilities are revealed. You know what I mean?
He's scary, I would say, in this form. Like even though he's, I guess, a big dinosaur, then but even I'm gonna say a dinosaur with an asterisk. Uh, I think he's whatever Godzilla is. He's doing a little bit more than a dinosaur. Seeing how he is effortlessly shrugging off bullets and crunching planes.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah.
but he is this kind of like deadly, murderous force because like he's a creature, right?
Hmm.
And it's hard to gauge his intent, right? But he doesn't necessarily feel like maybe just an animal that's doing things because like, oh, it's his instinct or whatever. There's a little extra layer of maliciousness um, in his behavior, even as like uh, a dinosaur with no like extra additional like powers or whatnot. And it makes him very threatening, right? He's really hunting these people once the action starts. And I think what else is interesting, of course, is this is the time when Shikishima is ordered to shoot Godzilla.
Yeah.
He gets into his plane. He tries to aim and fire, and he has a really good shot lined up. Godzilla walks right past him right? And at this point, Godzilla has to be like, uh, he's only like what 20 or 30 feet tall, right? Very very imposing and scary, but not like this impossibly large monster that he is later on. And he has his chance to potentially kill Godzilla. It's
Mm,
debatable whether or not
I don't know. Nah.
the 20 millimeter gun would have killed him at that point, but there's this real opportunity, and he just doesn't take it. Right, his hands are shaking, and he's too scared to do anything. And he gets knocked unconscious, and uh, all of the soldiers get wiped out.
Yeah, except for Takibana.
Yet, and Tachibana is like once day, I mean night ends, morning comes out, and Tachibana is injured, and he is furious at Koichi, right? Because to him, it is his fault, right? Everyone else would have survived if Tachibana just fired,
Yeah.
um, which again, of course, is debatable, which we could talk about. Do you think everyone would have survived if Tachibana just fired?
Nah.
No shot.
Yeah,
There's
I
no.
don't, no. I mean, you might have injured him. I think you might have injured him, but I think everyone would have died.
Yeah, like it's not even close. Like I understand Takibana's frustrations, especially because at this point they don't even know what like Godzilla's really capable of. Uh, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's a real like. If I shot that gun, I would have died because
He bit the plane in half, dog.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot him with a gun, and he's just like literally tearing metal apart. Yeah. Okay.
He's like,
No.
yeah, it's
No.
your
No.
fault.
So I was gonna die. We were all gonna die either way.
Yeah,
But
man. And that seems also reminiscent of like what happens a little later, where he goes back to the hometown, and they're like, "Oh, you're back. How are you back? Weren't you a kamikaze pilot? Oh, so you're the reason why we're
yes.
why the
Oh
city's
yeah,
destroyed."
that lady.
Yeah. We can go straight into that. Now, right before that, I would say the last thing I want to bring up is right before Koichi returns home. Is he is given a stack of all the soldiers, all the dead soldiers, pictures by Tachibana, and he's left with this lingering guilt, which is another theme I think of the movie is guilt and PTSD and feeling like you owe something to the people who have already passed, and this lingering feeling that he's failed and that his life is a mistake kind of haunts him throughout the rest of the movie. And I think some really good ways. But as you're talking about, he does make it home, right? Um, and he makes it home after it's over, right? Not only did he lose, right? Not only did all the people die in Odo Island, Japan lost. And I think it's very interesting that, where he goes is Tokyo. That's where he lives. That's where he's from. And I know in America, a lot of us think when you think of
Place
uh,
Tokyo.
yeah, place Tokyo. When a lot of people think about what happened in World War II and think about what was so bad about World War II, right? We go straight to like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which are definitely important, awful events. But what's ignored, and I think what Japanese people recognize, right? And you see this a lot in media focus on Japan World War II, right? Very little of it will be about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. A lot of it is about the firebombing of Tokyo, uh, which killed more people and was a sustained campaign by the U.S. government during World War II to firebomb civilian areas, and a lot of people are very haunted uh, by all that damage and all that death and all that destruction. So when Shikishima returns home, it is that feeling of, well, everything is gone, right? My parents are gone, right? My home is gone. Everyone is living in literal ruins for a while. Um, and as you brought up earlier, it's this feeling of like, oh well, I'm here and uh, it's my fault somehow,
Yeah,
right?
that survivor guilt is hitting him hard.
Yeah.
It is. Uh, Now, of course, within this guilt, and within this pain, within this destruction, he does meet new people, right? Of course, there's his neighbor who is blaming him because if he only blew himself up at the right time, Japan would have survived. Uh, but he meets Noriko, and Noriko is another person, a woman whose parents died during the firebombing of Tokyo, and she's taking care of a orphan, a little baby named Akiko,
Mhm.
and I think she just kind of like barges her way into his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit.
Just literally just went into his house and be like, he's like, yeah, this is nice, and let me sleep here for a few minutes. Turn to days, turn to weeks, turn to months, and then years.
Yeah, and then they just live together. And even the neighbor, who I think at first is very harsh to Shikishima, eventually kind of comes around and supports uh, Aki, Noriko and the little baby because she's still grieving her children that died. And they kind of support each other and form this little community in post-war Japan. And in spite of all the problems and his guilt, over time they are able to make a little life for themselves in the wreckage and kind of have a little bit of uh, domestic civility, which of course leads Shikishima to find his new job, which leads him directly in the path of Godzilla, and that is as a minesweeper. Now, would you want this job, as depicted in the movie?
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, if I saw like the boat and yeah, I don't know, the boat's kind of too rickety for me.
$30 an hour.
$30 an hour. I honestly, shoot, might as well.
Well, might as well.
30 bucks an
Might as
hour?
well.
Hold on.
No, now you caught my attention there.
Right, I pulled out my glasses on that. uh, but yeah, no, I mean, is it risky? Sure, but like, now is this with or without the knowledge that Godzilla's in the waters?
No Godzilla. You are just doing a job where you are going around the wooden boat and you are pulling up mines and shooting them.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's free. Yeah, that's free.
That's
I
free.
get,
That's
yeah,
free.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Just get, just keep your
That's free.
distance.
Yeah, of course.
Keep your
If I
distance.
know exactly how to shoot, I'll
Right?
definitely do it.
If you know what you're doing, like after the first day or two, I'll be straight. I'll be straight. I'll be like, oh yeah, just keep it this certain distance, shoot the mines, bada bing, bada boom. Let me go home and get my money, bro.
Right.
Okay. I
What
like
if
I
I
like the
don't?
reasoning.
Yeah, it could be like a day or two that I don't see any mines and be like, okay, I still get paid.
Right,
Like, I'm not getting paid by the bombs.
right. And see, now if it was payment by the bombs, then it'd be like, but like getting paid hourly to clear up mines with the distance. Yeah, I'm good on that. I'm good when I start.
Uh,
When they start, okay. Of course, we also meet the character of the kid. Uh, I believe it is. I'm gonna get the names together, and then I will present them like I knew this the entire time. Uh, but we get the captain, Seiji. We also have the kid. I think Kenji. Oh no, no, not the kid. No, no, no. The kid is Shiro, and then we also have uh the kid. Oh, nope, I got it. I got it. I'm figuring this out. Okay, in real time. All
Edit this
right.
part out.
I don't. We might keep it in. Okay, so we have. Okay. Seiji Akitsu is the captain.
Mhm,
Um, Shiro is the kid, and Kenji is Doc.
mhm.
And these are some pretty good characters that we were introduced to on the boat, and they kind of stick with the MC throughout the rest of the movie. I'm very fond of Doc. Um, I like him a lot,
Yeah, no, Doc's cool.
and I think he provides some good insight. He knows a little too much, though, suspiciously too much, and that's never really dealt on or dealt with. But I guess he's doing his job. Don't ask what Kenji was doing during World War II. You may not like the answer that you get. We have Tsushima kind of like enjoying his time. He is doing this job, which is dangerous, but he's making the best of it, and he's pretty good at it, actually. He's a good shot, and he's able to clear mines, and is slowly but surely rebuilding his home. Noriko's finding a job. There's this kind of like tension. I think that scene where his shipmates go back to their house,
Mhm,
uh, and they find out that he is not married to Noriko
mhm.
is really good. And yeah, Koichi is wild for that. I think throughout the movie,
Yeah,
and
he's
I understand the survivor's guilt is preventing him, but like, come on, dog.
at this point.
At this point, what's going on? The kid calls you dad.
No, I'm still thinking. I think yeah, it was. I think it was already said in like later in the movie that he just like says like, I don't know. Like I think like I'm dead. Like I'm already dead.
Yeah,
Dead soldier.
like I'm still
I
on that
know.
battlefield.
Yeah, I'm still on the battlefield. I've racked for survivor's guilt. If only there was some sort of personification of it that I could shoot. Well, anyway.
My war isn't over.
Un- yeah, he's like, my war isn't over. Unless.
Winks in front of camera.
Alright. And of course, Godzilla, he's back in nuclear form. Bikini Atoll, when we tested nukes out in 1946, we tested some nukes out in the Pacific, and we dropped 6 nuclear bombs. Shout out to the U.S. government for moving everyone who already lived there out of their home and permanently damaging it with radiation.
Shout out.
It's really good stuff.
God, I love this country.
Number one, number one. Um, so yeah, Godzilla is radiated, and he is greatly empowered by these nuclear tests. I mean, you just get a quick shot, and you can see the change in the eye, um, and he is going to weave a even greater path of destruction. And you get little hints that things are not right. Ships are getting destroyed, and this creature is slowly making its way to Japan. And due to the nature and the tensions of the Soviet Union, the America does not want to get involved and bring a bunch of warships to Pacific waters because that could start a all-out conflict with the Soviet Union if a bunch of American warships just rolled up to Japan. So they kind of say, "Hey guys, you're on your own. Good luck. Figure it out."
The government doesn't even tell anybody.
They don't.
Yeah.
Now, would you be panicking if would you believe the government if you got a notification that said there's a giant monster off the coast of you know, let's say like Miami
I
and
mean,
you lived in Florida? Would you be like, okay, no problem? Would you believe the government? What?
I mean, for one, I believe the government and everything they say. I don't, as it's not played. I mean, weirdly enough, if it was Florida, that would be even more of an indication. I feel that it's real.
It's
Like,
real. Okay.
you seen how big the gators
Yeah,
get, bro? You saying telling me there's one that's 30 feet tall potentially? Like, yeah, nah, that doesn't seem that far out of fiction.
Mm-hmm.
But like, mm, if, even like setting aside, it would I would take the warning. I feel like I would heed the warning pretty well if it's just like, well, why would they make this up randomly? I mean, granted, the government is
like if
known
this
to
was
do a
modern
lot of
day and
things.
like you just get like a notification from your phone saying, "Warning, a giant creature in your area." I
I would.
just
I really would. I would have an extremely hard time believing it.
yeah,
Mm,
especially since I live in Florida, I would just
I don't know,
ignore
man.
it.
I'll be 10 scrolls deep on TikTok, and after like that, after that 10 meme about it, like maybe this is legit. Wait, hold
I,
on.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
saying I would need corroborating evidence. I would need corroborating evidence.
I'd go on Twitter, just like make sure, like yeah, just type in emergency service and just see if anybody has like footage or anything like that.
Yeah, nah,
I
after I
don't know, but at
see,
the same time, I feel like actually this is psyop.
You
Yeah,
think
this
it's like
is
someone's
yeah,
trying
this
to
is
scare you?
yeah, this is government psyop. Nothing to see here. You know, I would be posting the nothing ever happens meme.
Nothing
uh,
ever happens, guys.
Yeah, would you if you could consult the chart?
Bet it all on nothing.
Right on. Yeah, right until my laser beam, destroys my town. But until then, I would not be convinced.
I mean, I feel like if I got the message, yeah, I feel like if I got the message, I would probably take. I'd probably believe it. There's probably a good chance. Uh, it's not every day that monsters attack the city, you know what I mean? Or monsters are spotted or whatever. Even if it's like even if there's like talk of it being like, oh, well, maybe they're just exaggerating or whatever.
I'd walk out, just like walk out the walking out of my house and
Okay,
just look
okay.
outside.
What? Okay, okay. What notification would you believe more? Okay. The government says aliens have touched down,
Mhm.
right? The government says a giant monster is approaching the coast, right? Or the government says, um, let's say like a zombie virus is breaking out. Which one? Which one are you buying the most?
Zombie virus.
Zombie virus.
Especially now
Alien.
after COVID, bro. It's like COVID mutated, and now sick people are actually like eating other people. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Now I gotta worry about that. But no, I mean, a zombie outbreak from a disease is a lot more believable, just
True. True. Yeah.
because it spreads a lot
Uh,
faster.
Yeah, I'll go with aliens.
I
Aliens.
mean, actually, aliens are the one I would believe the most as a psyop, right? If the government said aliens are touching down, I would believe that's a psyop. Um,
It would
You
just
know.
you'd just be like, yeah, never mind. I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
want
no. That's just those are just drones. He's flying some drones around now, trying to make us think it's aliens. Nice try.
So so
I'm
so
going
so
back
what?
to bed.
So what did you think when what was it? Mexico revealed that they had like alien proof or something.
Yeah, that's clear. That clearly wasn't real. You got
to.
to try
Clearly wasn't.
better. That was like
Well,
paper mache, bro. You got to try better. That's what I'm saying.
uh,
all right. If I see the next like someone going crazy, looking like one of the creatures from The Last of Us, I 100, then I will believe it. But until then, if I'm looking up in the sky,
look at him. Beto
It
secretly
depends. It depends.
Elio.
Okay, it depends what the first footage. Okay, it depends what the first footage is. Okay, and the first footage of a quote unquote zombie is like a black person, then that's a psyop. That is a psyop
that's the CIA
to do
getting
the
to us.
the CIA to do the BBG. You know, the big black genocide. And you know, I will not stand for it.
But yeah, man.
I will only believe the zombie virus is real if the first video is not a black person, because
So
if so, I just think it's that's a
Yeah, the first video has to be a white person in a white neighborhood drinking coffee at an expensive coffee shop, and out of the blue, not just mayhem starts. Then I'll believe.
yeah, because that could just be a guy that's it's a little too excited, you know, somewhere in a neighborhood, you know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and they're saying it's a zombie virus. So yeah, no, that's my policy. It is sticking to it. Back to Godzilla. I think we were talking about at some point today. Uh, so for whatever reason, now this is my biggest like uh question mark is they send out Shikishima and the Minesweeper crew to stall Godzilla, which is insane.
Just stall them. If you die, it's okay. We're gonna just take the credit.
What how could you why would you send a wooden tugboat out with like two mines in a gun and be like, "Yeah, all right.
Put him
You
back.
got it, bro." I mean, well, not really. I would say they did stall him, but no, it was kind of an inconvenience for Godzilla in the long run. But absolutely insanity. Uh, but this scene of Godzilla pretty good.
Yeah,
Another, you know, it's very Jaws like.
yeah,
Yeah. And the way how it looks, it just look. I think it was practical effects for just the head of Godzilla getting up ganging up on them in that boat. I think that was a little bit
I
of
don't
practical and
maybe
digital.
yeah. It feels. I mean, the
It
effect that Godzilla has in this movie, I would say, also describing Godzilla in general, he looks very good. Godzilla
Yeah.
looks fantastic. He looks simultaneously like a real creature, but also a guy in the suit at the same time.
hmm
And he's a really good like physicality to him, and it's almost an almost perfect Godzilla design, I would say. That's both modern and harkens back to the original.
yeah.
For sure.
Outside of like Shin, I'd say this one's probably up there uh, with in this terms of designs for Godzilla. And you know the new King of Monsters, I'd say King of Monsters, the Monster Verse, I would say. Uh,
Yeah,
very good.
Monster vs. Godzilla is pretty cool. It's a different purpose, but he is idyllic to design for sure.
Yeah,
Uh, and despite it all, they do manage to actually do some good damage on Godzilla. Um, I would say Shikishima manages to like blow part of Godzilla's head off, which is pretty good. and that's a pretty great scene, pretty good use of pretty good tension building as they blow up Jaw style actually.
Yeah,
Um, but this Godzilla has a new quirk, which is unique to him, and that's the ability to regenerate.
that was a
And
shocker to see in theaters.
Is that unique
yes,
to this one?
I would say so. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
Godzilla, I would say historically has always been like fairly durable,
Hmm.
right? And a lot of Godzillas can regenerate, but they need like to usually to like absorb like radiation,
Oh, okay.
right? If they've been significantly damaged, they can like eat radiation to heal their wounds. But for the most part, a Godzilla can't just regenerate Wolverine style on the spot. Um, so it makes him particularly scary.
Okay.
And just when you think that Godzilla is uh going to destroy Tugboat, you have a little bit of relief when a proper heavy cruiser is able to engage Godzilla, damage Godzilla, right? And you feel it kind of knocked him back into the water, and you've had this like little bit of like thing, like you say, the danger has kind of passed, right?
Hmm.
And maybe everything's gonna be okay. They're gonna get out of the situation, and it's gonna be good. And then you get the very first taste of the heat ray as you see the light kind of come from the water and completely decimate the cruiser. And it's a really, really great scene. Um, sells the scariness of Godzilla, gives you just a little taste of his, more iconic abilities, and what ultimately saves them from Godzilla is its indifference, and that, in a way, makes it such this kind of like insurmountable threat.
Feel you. Yeah, I really liked how this is a scene that really kind of establishes how much of a threat Godzilla actually is. And this is like before he really starts popping off later in the movie. I don't believe is this the dorsal? There's a dorsal fin on the back happen
Yes.
in this one. Okay, yeah, yeah. I really liked how the effect of that one, especially when first seeing it, where it's just like the his dorsal starts shining and then it kind of like
Oh,
lock
actually,
in.
no. That we're getting to that. We will
Oh, okay, okay.
get to
Yeah,
that.
I definitely want to get more
Um,
into it later, but yeah, this scene was really good to establish how big of a threat he is.
and the best you can hope for is that Godzilla destroys what he's gonna destroy. He just leaves.
Yeah, yeah. He had his fill of the day and just dips out. It's just like, bro, what you do all this for?
Yeah, he's all tuckered out.
There's, there's all the destruction I can do for now.
You
So
waddle away, waddle waddle.
they give him the Japanese government there's a gag order, right? You can't say what happened, right? Pretend like Godzilla did not blow up the ship and he's not heading to Japan, which of course won't work. And when Noriko is on her way to work, you get this incredible scene when Godzilla finally makes landfall in Japan and attacks Ginza. And it's bad, folks.
Yeah,
It's real
It's
just
really
destruction
bad.
right
he
there.
just wrecking shop. Like,
Just getting, just decimating everything.
All right, we're gonna besides the heat ray, right? Besides the beam, which we will talk about. What really stuck out to you in this like destruction? Because this is a real staple, I would say, of like any Godzilla movie would be the city destruction, right? I think this one in particular was done really well. But what was the thing that stuck out to you?
I think the most is him throwing objects. Um, I've I don't remember any other feature where he's like where you see him grabbing something and just tossing it to a side, but like the I think like when the train when I forgot her name now.
Noriko.
Noriko was on her train was on her train going to work, and then as soon as the conductor saw the one of the trolleys just slam down on there, it's such like a I think that was like the most I've seen that Godzilla can do. Um, and just him just going full on, just going in a straight line, doesn't matter where he's going, destruction will just continue to follow him. That specifically just that part was that struck me. Besides the, laser beam scene.
Yeah, I think the pure panic of the people is also kind of like stands out. Because this is because up until like a couple minutes ago, they didn't even like they didn't even know a monster like this existed, and now all of a sudden here's this big lizard coming through, destroying everything, and it's just you see
Yeah.
people in shock, and especially Noriko. Noriko was really like going through it right there.
And
What was
she finally saw Godzilla, like what he was talking about,
yeah
because all she know was the information from Koichi, and he only gave her the. Did he only give her like the first time he saw Godzilla, or did he give
yeah
you the?
Yes, yeah, he
yeah
did. He talked about it.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was just wondering if he was only giving like the first introduction he got from Godzilla, or like the second time he saw it, when he was in that on the
He might
boat.
have
But
he might have mentioned it the
I
second
think
time.
he talks about his trauma initially, and then I think he also talks about how Godzilla is like coming back.
yeah, so she probably was just thinking like, oh, it's just something not as
She thought
it's
it was a
still like a
metaphor.
yeah. She
A
probably thought
metaphor.
it was a metaphor. Like she she probably saw like thought it was like some kind of you just got bit by like a bee or something, or like saw some weird creature. It's like, oh no,
A
this is
monster
something
destroyed
else.
by a
Don't you
monster
don't you
destroyed by
hate
Kaiju.
don't you hate when the metaphor for your PTSD blows up your city?
It's like, oh no, okay,
Happens more
okay.
often than you think.
Yeah.
All
especially
right. Yeah.
especially that scene where the reporters are talking about Godzilla, and it's such akin to the original movie. Um, but I don't remember. I wish I saw the first one again as well. But it's just like them trembling, talking about it, about Godzilla and what the destruction has been going on. That was an interesting scene as well.
Yes. Shout outs to them to dying for the cause. But those scoops. That was a good scoop.
Yeah.
It's a really good scoop.
Yeah.
Um, of course, like always, tanks, nothing. Do nothing. Not gonna work. And let's talk about the heat ray. Uh, Now, there's many versions of Godzilla's atomic breath, as it's called usually. Um, and I think we over the years there's been like I said many iterations. Usually it's a bluish beam that kind of just destroys thing in its wake. Sometimes it's kind of like fire. Um, in the original 1954 Godzilla, it was a lot more of like a fiery beam that destroyed things and mostly set things on fire, and was kind of and it recreated the effects of what it was like to endure like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Um, but I would say Godzilla's like atomic breath has not been uh, a real like it's been destructive, but I wouldn't call it scary, right? We've kind of lost the impact of what it can do. Um, and the way it
And
was
when you
employed here, I would
And what do
say.
you mean by scary? Is it just like how fearful from the citizens?
Yes, right. Godzilla's beam is cool most of the
Yeah.
time, right? It's like when you compare it to like I would say Godzilla 2014, right?
Hmm.
Is he doesn't use that beam until like what near the end of the movie, and when he uses it when he's fighting the Mutos, it's like it's a thing where you cheer. You're like, yeah, he's doing it,
It's
right?
heroic. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
heroic. Or even like in Shin Godzilla, right? There's still a cool element. Now I really love the atomic breath in Shin Godzilla. Like it kind of powers up to this very fine like laser.
Yeah, that was
Um,
cool.
and but it's epic. But I would say even the destruction in Shin Godzilla feels a little more abstract, right? Even though it's happening in modern day, it's just kind of happening, right? You don't feel that same impact. Um, but here you feel the impact, right? And I will give you the honors. Please describe the atomic breath.
Yeah. So we, I just love how the dorsal plates on the back of Godzilla's spine. Uh, Before he shoots out his cannon, you see it. His spine dorsals just pop out, one after the other, and all the way until it gets to, if I remember correctly, maybe like his neck. Uh, but they're also glowing as they're popping out. And then they kind of, and then once they're like extended, they lock back in, and the moment they lock back in, boom, he shoots a cannon, his plasma cannon from his mouth, and that was the destruction that blast does is insane. To the point where just the aftershock is destroying the city and causing like almost like a hurricane type wind, which wipes
Yeah, it was
everything
more like
out.
even like a tsunami kind of thing, just like wiping everything out.
Yeah, yeah. Like if we were to look at the charts, a blast like that would at least be about 50 gajillion tons of TNT. That would be Godzilla. Not for this plane, but yeah, no, it was a super powerful attack, and it's
It
a
it recreates the effect of the atomic bomb, right?
yes, yes,
Like
Yeah.
that's a and I when we saw it in theaters together, like it was shocking. Like the buildup was whatever, and you expect it to like you know kind of like come out like a beam, right? But when it hits and you see that giant explosion, and like as you talk about like the feedback and like it's kind of like a hurricane, it like you feel that impact, and that impact, in my opinion, missing from Godzilla for a while, right? For a very long
Yeah.
time. Um, and this really brought it in the forefront. Like this is a truly villainous Godzilla, right? A villainous, irredeemable force of malice,
yeah.
right?
Imagine this is the Godzilla they try to make a hero like they do in the MonsterVerse, man.
Imagine, now, yes, this Godzilla is not going to defend humanity. This Godzilla is not going to get in wrestling matches. This Godzilla is not going to have like a cute chibi son. Um, you know, and do a double drop kicks. Not this one. No.
No.
And there's nothing wrong with Godzilla doing double drop kicks. Okay, I'm not one of those guys, but I love Godzilla doing double drop kicks. Uh, but this one in particular is takes it seriously. And when they bring up the news report where it says like 30,000 people were killed, right? 20,000 homes and buildings were destroyed. You believe it,
Yeah,
right? It feels uh, real in a way, and you get that tangible effect. And when you get that last shot of Shikshima's just screaming as the black rain comes down, because of the result of like all the destruction, everything
Yeah.
that's kicked in the air, it is fantastic. Like that is such an awesome scene, and really highlights. Uh, this Godzilla, right? And what makes uh this in particular such a special film separate from other Godzilla works. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But really, I think this is something special, and this scene in particular really highlights that. And I'd also like to take a quick moment to talk about the music. I believe the composer for Godzilla Minus One is. You'll find it. Is Naoki Sato. Does a very good job of remixing and doing new versions of our classic Godzilla themes. You know, the big horns, of course, Godzilla's burning march, like the bum 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 bum, comes out very strong. But there's also some really good original music as well, um, and that really shines through at the end when we talk about that.
Yeah.
So, we have, I think this really also talks about this is real the real crux of the title, right? Where Godzilla's reducing Japan back to -1, right? They're trying to get back to zero and they can't even get back to zero. Like all, and you see it over the year, like throughout the montage, you see the feeling that slowly but surely things are improving, right? Through the vehicle of our main character, things have improved, and just like that, it's like all the improvements gone. Um, so now, of course, this switches into um, the plan to defeat Godzilla. How can we possibly destroy Godzilla when we don't have the government to bail us out, right? What can we do? How can we possibly stop this monster from destroying our cities any further? And that's when we enter our doc, Kenji Noda, who comes up with a very unique plan to destroy Godzilla. What do we think about this plan?
A little bit not corny, but more it's a little silly, but I guess it worked. It's a doable solution.
Uh, yeah, I think it is very like a last ditch type effort. It is very optimistic. Uh, that where and at first when I watched the movie, I didn't quite get what was how this was supposed to stop Godzilla. But I think the initial idea is just that you know we have to hit him with enough force where he stays down and the sea pressure gives that force. So we have to find Godzilla a way to get Godzilla to that level of sea pressure pretty fast, so that I don't really know the scientific word for it, but so that when he I guess rises again, it puts an end to him.
Yeah, they're giving him the bends basically,
Yeah,
where they're gonna sink him. They're gonna sink him so fast, and then bring him up so fast that the water pressure, would mathematically basically crush him
yeah, yeah.
and like decompress him.
But yeah, like I said, it's like an optimistic idea, but like it is like a real like, huh? we got no other plans. This is it. And even when they asked
What
him, they're like, hey, so is this guaranteed to take him down? I mean, we could try, I guess.
what's so interesting for me is that the the effort is done by the people, right?
Yeah,
Not, I mean, a lot of them are ex-soldiers, but it's not. It's a citizen-led effort, right? The government won't do it.
yeah,
Um, there's no Japanese armed forces, and what I like about it, this is not a like rah rah military, right? we're gonna get the band back together. We're gonna get the boys. And we're gonna fly the Imperial flag, and we're gonna beat Godzilla.
Mhm.
It's we have to defeat this with what the tools we have on hand. Um, and we're gonna beat it scientifically and with the people.
Yeah.
And the plan's interesting and also runs contrast to the many different ways that Godzilla has been killed or defeated by people in previous films. Right. Famously, in the first Godzilla movie, he's killed by the oxygen destroyer. Right.
Mhm.
Whereas in Godzilla is a weapon. Godzilla is a creature that has been created because of the nuclear weapon, right? And this super destructive weapon. And the only way that they can defeat it is to build a even more destructive and environmentally damaging device, and basically atomizes him and uh, any other creature that relies on oxygen in the surrounding ocean. Um, and Shin Godzilla, on the other hand, they defeated him by basically coagulating his blood and freezing him in place,
Mhm.
and preventing him from moving like any further, basically. Right,
Like
and
that's been the majority plan for a lot of how to stop Godzilla.
yes,
Like, so how do we stop him? Freeze him. How long? I don't know.
because it's not something you can. The thematic nature is Godzilla's never something that you should be able to defeat with the military.
Right.
Um, except that one time they defeated him with the military in the American Godzilla from the 90s.
America.
Because
Mm-mm.
rah rah troops, we love it. Godzilla got shot by helicopters or something. That's very stupid. Uh,
It's not canon.
that Godzilla is truly just a big dinosaur. What can you do? Um, Now, of course, in the background, our main character is driven, right? He wants to kill Godzilla, right? And also, he's prepared to die himself. He feels like he's lost everything, and he wants to make up for the fact that he did not sacrifice him earlier by going out in this sacrifice. And he feels like the only way that he can is to kamikaze himself, right?
Mhm.
And um, this, of course, talks about a different theme that this movie touches upon, is like the nature of sacrifice, right? And when what you do with sacrifice, and isn't can you sacrifice and still live? It's very interesting that throughout all this effort, that the whole point of it is they want to have everyone survive, even though they're trying to fight Godzilla. The whole point is they want everyone to make it out, because the point of this is not to recreate the suicidal nature of the old regime, right?
Yeah.
The whole point of this is to live.
Hmm.
Mhm.
um, which of course leads our good friend Koichi to run into Tachibana again,
Mhm.
by basically
Rage
rage
baiting.
baiting. Yeah, yeah, rage baiting Tachibana into showing up at his house.
He's like, you won't, you won't.
You won't. Come on down, bro.
He's like, man, it was your fault. You
He
know that,
does.
right?
So Tachibana makes the plane, right? Loads it up, gets some bombs, machine gun, da da da, and in what's a very clear and telegraphed maneuver, that's supposed to be a surprise. He says, this plane, it has one more thing.
Cut to next scene.
Cut the next. Who knows? Who knows what that one more thing could be? We will see. So he lives his little baby in the care of his neighbor, and all hands on deck to defeat Godzilla. Now, uh, this final great war against Godzilla, I think is really well done. What do y'all think about it?
Yeah, I liked how everyone banded together for this assault, and even just the preparation of everything, both even before, even the preparation that went into this before the main fight. You could really see like what's the word carad the camaraderie of everyone joining together, and with Shikishima, you know, you could see him like uh his resolve was getting more steeled up before the day of the final battle as well, and the fight itself is really the battle between Japan or Ginza or
The people.
the people. Yeah,
The people versus Godzilla.
is
It was
really
more human spirit driven.
yeah.
Now, speaking of human spirit, we gotta talk about that music, okay? The track in particular I'm thinking of is called Resolution.
Is it the one that goes dun 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 dun
No,
dun
no, no.
dun?
That's the Godzilla's Burning March. It's the one that plays when the people are banding together to fight Godzilla. And specifically, there's a track that plays when Tsukushima reappears in the plane,
Mhm.
and it's that kind of rising build up. It is such a hopeful song, right? Of like the human spirit rising above and not giving up.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
yeah. It really gives you that hope feeling in a way that doesn't bore you for 10 issues. Anyway.
Okay, all right. Well, the people may never hear that pod due to the audio issues. Um, but let it be
Yeah,
known.
Super O said
Uh,
something.
Super O betrays his namesake. That's all. That's all. That's all we'll say. That's all we'll say.
I'm just saying, Superman sold it for me. All right.
If you ever wonder, when we do our ratings, you're like, why is All Star Superman? Well, there's a reason. It's not us. It's not us.
Not I, said the fly.
I spoke for the
Um,
people. I'll leave it there.
yeah. You spoke with the people in the most highly rated comics of all time. Okay, no,
I
you
spoke.
you represent the common man. Okay. Um. They really pull it to the wire, but Shikishima pulls it off, blows up Godzilla, and destroys his head, and the heat ray backfires, and in a scene that no one saw coming. Would you believe it? There was an ejector seat, a German ejector seat. Tachibana uh, is able to escape, and not Tachibana is able to escape. Sorry,
Shikishima.
Shikishima. Shikishima is able to escape, and he's been given a directive by Tachibana to let go of his guilt. Right? Tachibana has forgiven him. I think enough time has passed, and Tachibana has forgiven him. He's forgiven himself, and he has to keep living. Right? And so
You
many
have to live, bro.
characters. You gotta live. That's the main thing. You gotta live. Right? Koichi's told by his parents. Right? He's been told to live, to come back alive. Noriko was told by her parents to keep living, right? They want the child to keep living. They want Japan to keep living, right? Don't throw your life away, right? Kamikazing yourself is no good, right? There's no, like, forget about the honor or the, like, desire to, what's the word, achieve this goal through this violence. Like, that's not what it's about. The point and what you can do is you can do so much more when you're alive than when you're dead. It's a very simple message, but it's executed so well, and Um, I think it leads into the ending, and this part is actually I think the only part that's is like quote unquote controversial, because as it turns out, um, somehow, some way, Noriko survived, getting blown up by Godzilla.
You just see that scene from Star Wars. Somehow the somehow she survived.
But however, whatever method that she did survive, it is not. It appears to be a cost. We don't know what the cost is yet, but there is a black kind of like bruise or protrusion that's on
Or
her neck.
substance.
Substance, yes, and you can see even at the beginning of in the depths of the ocean that a chunk of Godzilla's flesh starts to regenerate. So that is Godzilla Minus One. Now, before we go into our rankings, how would you feel about a Godzilla Minus Two, which appears to be getting made?
Um,
Um, I think it's like it's bound to happen, so I wouldn't complain
I
saying
think it's in production. Well, what should it be? Okay, well, number one, what should it be called?
Ground Zero.
I'm
Godzilla
thinking.
Ground Zero. Okay,
Yeah, I
that's
was
pretty
thinking.
good.
Yeah, I was thinking the next one would be called just Godzilla Zero, or just
Because it
yeah,
can't be called Godzilla Minus Two.
yeah. It gets worse. it
It's
gets.
worse.
It gets even more.
or, but either zero or like this one is actually Godzilla One. They make it positive instead.
Okay, yes, he's a good guy at this time.
Yeah, yeah. he had to get beat. He had to get the sense beat into him. but
That's not the-
Would you think there would be more another monster introduced, or would it just still be Godzilla?
And like, and there's that's actually the two questions I have. Is like, when does the movie take place, and is it just Godzilla?
See, I feel like in this verse, it probably would just be Godzilla because we haven't heard of any other.
If
I think it'd be weird if another monster were to pop up in this universe because it's not like because it hasn't been any indication that there's other like creatures surrounding it, and I can't like imagine like a Ghidorah in this setting.
And the main thing is how would Ghidorah have like I don't know like what would Ghidorah be a metaphor for? Oh,
yeah,
maybe Ghidorah can be like a metaphor for like Western imperialism. You know,
mm,
That we could.
that's a good one.
like he actually comes from like deep beneath like I don't know like somewhere in the Western Hemisphere or in America, and yeah, he represents Western imperialism. That's the best I got for you right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
and Godzilla fights him and becomes the good guy, and him and Shigashima, despite their differences, fist bump and goes their separate ways.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. He's like, no, he's like, she's was like, this time we fight together.
Right.
Like he's flying the plane next to Godzilla. They're teaming up.
You're like,
They look at each other and they just give a nod.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Godzilla might be a monster, but he's our monster.
He's talking to
Cinema.
Naruto later. Godzilla was a pretty cool guy. he was, he was,
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Minus two. Let's go.
yeah, yeah.
It's called minus two because there's two monsters this time.
Next, I feel like Mothra could work in this one.
Mothra?
Mothra as an allegory for indigenous people that were harmed by Japanese imperialism. Hear me out.
Exactly.
Hear me out. We can cook. We can cook. Um, So, on to the grading. All right, we have a very elaborate and I would say very articulate grading system. Right, we do a 1 through 5 on the 5 categories for that we will grade movies on, and we're going to talk about visuals and art, the characters, the writing and dialogue, the X factor. Right, what makes it unique, and what's the hype moments and aura that are displayed. So 1 through 5. We'll start with visuals and art. 1 through 5. What are you thinking?
I'd go with a 5 for visuals
Yeah,
and art design.
Yeah, I'm not
This
mad
is
at that.
very detailed.
for it's got to be a 5 for me too. It looks perfect. It's like it's a perfect marriage of modern technology, old school effects, and it ties the original with the future in a really good way. And everything, all the other set designs for like 1940s Japan are perfect. The set design they have for the destroyed city, um, everyone looks appropriately dirty and grimy at different points in time, depending on their station. Um, you know, really fantastic, and like the CG, really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I would also give this a 5 as well. The you said did you say that Godzilla was a guy in a costume in this movie, or for some scenes,
No,
or okay, no.
that's the. He looks like a guy in the costume, but no, I believe he's 100% CG.
Yeah, that was some really good CG. I like the effects
Yeah,
they
that's
use, especially when it comes to him regenerating and using his abilities. This movie has a really good way of like portraying these kind of those kind of shots. And again, with like the visuals throughout it, all the grimy feel. I really like the scene where after he shoots that mega beam cannon, and Ginza, at the end of that where Shikishima is like yelling, it starts raining blood, and I think that is
Hmm.
it's a really good
I
effect.
thought that was acid rain
Yeah,
or
at
something.
It's a
ooh,
black rain. It's a black rain that comes from debris and like
oh okay. I thought it was
ash
like I
getting
thought
kicked into the environment.
yeah okay. I thought it was like because he blew up some people. That's their blood in the atmosphere coming down.
Well, they're in there too. Don't get me wrong, they're in there too, but it's a mix.
But yeah, no, it was still like a really just visually appealing scene. I think this movie
All
nails it
right,
there.
Yeah.
characters.
Uh, I gave honestly at first I gave it a 4, but the more I thought about it, I you know what? I'll give the characters in the movie a 5. I don't think there's a weak character in here. I think they all do their jobs pretty well, and it's not anyone that's like annoying, and they have good chemistry with each other. Especially Shigashima. I think Shigashima is a really good protagonist. And in comparison to
Yeah,
like other like people in other Godzilla films, this is like the strongest like the people have ever been. Except for maybe like Shin, but I haven't seen Shin in a minute. But
Shin. I no, I definitely put the characters here over Shin for sure. Um,
Yeah.
they're a lot more stock in Shin, and the characters kind of blend together more. I think they're almost intentionally, but yeah.
Yeah. It feels like in Shin there's like it's just one character, but talking to they're all yeah. It's all just like yeah, it's one. It feels like one, but it's a billion of people.
okay.
I'm gonna give the characters a 4. Not
Mm,
because they're not great; they are fantastic. But um,
there's no one who
in
wows you
in
that much.
no, I'm just saying there's better, right? There's media with better.
Hmm.
Is all I'll say. This is me. This is me looking into the future. Uh, but the characters are really great. But I have seen work with like even stronger writing than this. Not that this writing isn't good.
Oh yeah, no, I think the I'm gonna get into what I say about the writing, but like if I go by like the individuals themselves, like the named people, I think they're so that one the personalities are pretty distinct. So it's not like
Yeah, the crew, the ship crew, Noriko and Koichiro and Tachibana
yeah,
are all pretty good.
yeah, they're pretty solid. And even like
All right.
the I forgot his name, but like the general guy who's with the doc, I think, for as little lines as he said, he's also like pretty solid because he's just like, hey, I know I'm asking a lot of you, guys. If you want to leave, you can leave. This isn't a conscription. Like, but if you want to stay and fight, then you can fight. And I think, like, I like that. He wasn't like a, he wasn't like a look, you guys. I'm sorry, but you're getting drafted. All right.
Would you join the Godzilla fighting operation?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good on that. Now, maybe for $30 an hour. Maybe for $30 an hour.
Is that not,
But
not to protect your home? No.
I can protect my home at home. Thank you very much.
I would need a slightly more solid plan.
Yes, yes. The
The
plan
plan they
itself
had.
was too
Maybe
shaky.
not for that plan. Yeah, maybe not for that plan, but for a different one, yeah.
The moment I heard the moment they asked they asked will this kill him? And Doc's like, well, I mean, we're not exactly sure. I would have already been out. He's like,
Yeah, there's an outline still in the room. All right, Beto, what's your ranking for the characters?
Characters, I think I'd still go with a four. There's some characters there that are um not as well written, or I'm not gonna. Yeah, they are. They they haven't shined as much, but it was still a pretty good amount of characters and amount of people there just to keep the story going. So, but it's still a four. It's not every character was great, but it was decent enough to keep the story and just over to make the overall film pretty good.
which character did
All
you think
right,
it was?
writing.
Which character did you think wasn't well written?
Um, I think that was it. I think it was the one of the young kid.
The kid, I love the kid. Kid's great.
The one who wanted to fight him?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he's
like it.
yeah, yeah he was, but it's just I need a little bit more from that kid.
I like the bit where he's like we talked about this earlier, but the bit where he's like, "Yeah, war, I love it." Oh man, I wish I could have been in that war, but
Like-
the war is already all done by time. And all of the veterans like, "What are you talking about?" Just
It's
shouting and
like,
shaking him.
I was born in the
they're
wrong
like,
generation.
yeah,
Truly.
it's like I want to fight. Why can't I fight? It's like, kid, listen.
Like, you
All
have your
right,
life ahead.
writing and dialogue. Uh,
Uh,
I'm ranking
Five.
it a five. Oh, I'm ranking it a four myself.
I also got a 4.
All right, why is it a five?
It's a five for me because I think it really um the dialogue of everybody is just they have it keep to themselves. They're not really what was it? What's the word? They're not really trying to force any any kind of exposition. They're not expositioning that much. They're really just laying it out on them, and it's like decent dialogue. They're not overexposing the the story, and it's just pretty well knit.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, I chose a four
Uh,
because I think the writing is really good in this movie. Uh, I don't know. It's just like when I think of a five, it sometimes it kind of go has to something has to in the writing or dialogue exchanges have to go above and beyond for me. Or something has to like really stay with me, or dialogue pieces have to really stay with me after the movie. And I say that just has to like forgettable dialogue or anything, but like uh, I just think in it's not like I guess it's not like peak, but it's still extremely well done. Uh, but I couldn't like I couldn't
yeah,
tell
that's
you. I'm not saying I couldn't tell you. Maybe if I really thought about it, I could tell you like a couple lines. But like, there's not wasn't a line in there that really like was that crazy to me. You know what I mean? That was like five worthy.
yeah. I don't have like a quote. Right. Usually there's a big quotable, and I'm like, it's good. It's good, and it's just, and uh don't hate me, but I love hammy dialogue, but it's some of it's a little hammy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit hammy, which is fine. Right. I think it's perfect for this movie, but it's not like the best. I think the character and scene writing is really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the script is really good, but the dialogue itself, like the character dialogue, you know, um, is not as strong. In fact, I think like the acting and the expressions and the way the actors handle material is maybe better than the material. And granted, big caveat, big asterisk on all of this. We are watching a film that was made in Japan that's been translated into English. So, uh, we may not know what exactly everything meant in the glorious Nippon language. Sorry, we are mere gaijin who do not understand the glory of Japan, and that's our fault. You
Yeah.
know, we're working on it. Any day now, we will learn Japanese so we can truly understand Godzilla Minus One as it was intended. For the script I read, I'm giving it a four.
Mm-hmm. I'm mad at it.
All right, X Factor. What are you rating?
I gave it a four for X Factor.
Five for me.
Five for me too.
All right, what's a four for you?
It's good. I think there's a lot of stuff this does unique. Like for one, the actual good human plot. But I think I think where it's only like a four for me because like when I'm comparing it and I take the X Factor and comparing it to just other Godzilla films I've seen, and I think this one, uh, granted it's Godzilla, so there's not really much you could do. It's not so much unique stuff you can do outside of that realm, outside of monster destroying city, but compared to like stuff like Shin Godzilla or even like some of like the Monster Versus one, it's like this is just their rendition of certain scenes, especially when it comes to destruction of the other movies. But at the same time, I like how some of these scenes are portrayed, like with the dorsal fin cannon. I thought that was really nice. Uh, I like that, they actually I like that the fact that they actually have the main character, the whole thing with the main character and his PTSD from the war. I think that was a really good addition to the movie. But yeah, it's a four because it doesn't quite do. I feel like it doesn't quite do things more uniquely than the other films or more better than the other films because there's aspects of this film that rise above those others ones I've seen, but there are a couple like things from like Shin. I'd be like, okay, I probably would put that over here. This one, but yeah, that's why it's a 4 for me.
Uh, all right. For me, it's as the ranking Godzilla expert on this panel. Right? As in, I've seen the most Godzilla. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is a pretty unique Godzilla. I think, like I said, it blends old and new pretty well, and it's definitely doing and telling its own thing. Right. There's been many serious Godzilla stories over the years, but this one in particular is it's telling a very different um, story, and it's kind of using like a different metaphor for Godzilla as a creature, and it's especially when you think of how Godzilla is used now, and its most popular incarnation is like the Western Godzilla, which we love, or well, I love. Um, and it's a very like schlocky good guy, you know, fights with Kong riding on his back, kind of character
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
isn't Fortnite. Um, and this is a very serious take and a very human take. I think that's the most of all. This is a very human movie that you could argue would be good without Godzilla, right? Um, and even compared to Shin, which is also extremely unique, I'd probably give Shin a 5 in X Factor as well. Um, it stands out even above that, and that's why I think give it like a 5 on X Factor.
Beta, what do you think?
Um, X Factor, yeah, I gave it a 5. It's just the style, directing, and the overall visual look is really stunning, and um, I appreciate a lot, even with the special effects. Not a lot of special effects in overseas or international has it like in America. It's very different, but just what they've completed and they created, it's I think they did a well done job in creating their own uniques and this unique style and trying to replicate the past into in in here, and yeah, they've done a good job.
Okay, and then our last, most important category: how do we rank its hype moments and aura?
I think it's a 5 out of all of us. Correct.
I got it at 1.
Uh, yeah,
Wow.
okay.
Here we go.
Excellent rage bait that
Okay.
I would try. I do it more feeling next time.
But no, I mean,
What do you
honestly,
mean?
I'm being between 4 and 5.
It's a 4 for me.
Because on one,
The hype moments really started when uh especially in the when Godzilla reached the city,
yeah,
and as soon as he starts revving up, hype.
Uh,
As soon as
I hear you. It's hype, and there's aura. Okay, but 5? Come on, come on.
I don't know, but when
I
but
it's
when
a
the
lot
mines
with the
exploded in his mouth during the boat raid, you know what I mean, and he still like
yes,
regenerated through that. That was also pretty good. And
that
then,
was a
pretty
hype
good.
moment right there.
or when he destroyed that was under the sea and he, plasma breath the ship on top. That was I would consider
That
that
was a
a hype
dope
moment.
scene right there.
Yeah.
Especially when it came to the calling everyone together, and once everyone who didn't want to fight left, and then the few that was stayed behind and was ready to fight, and the general who was just like, yo guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. Just that shot of him just doing his monologue, that was a hype moment. And especially when I saw it in black and white, it helped out a lot more. And then just Godzilla roaring under his own creation, his own uh you know uh cloud, just right there. That was cinema to me.
Okay, I don't disagree with any of these points. Okay, but I can't give it a
But
five. I can't give it a five in aura. All right, only because I know what lies ahead. All right, I've seen the future. Okay, and
You don't live this
if we
far.
give this, if we give this a five, like I feel like we're degrading the scale.
That's fair.
degrading the scale. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
What would you
You may
rank?
judge me now.
What would
You may judge me now, but the future will show
what would you
this is
rank
my
Shin
action.
Godzilla in terms of hype moments?
Three or four.
Probably a three. Probably a three.
Okay.
Because that part is really hype, but that's kind of like the only part.
That's the only part everybody talks about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stick with four then.
All right. We can do our tally right now. I did my tally. And our my official ranking for Shin Godzilla is 4.4 out of
You mean
5.
minus one?
Yeah, sorry, Shin Godzilla's on the brain. Godzilla Minus One.
Two. I got a 4.4 as well.
4.8.
Really? I feel
4.8.
like you were.
Ooh.
I feel like you had mostly fours. But
No,
Me?
it's mostly fives actually. So our official rating of Godzilla Minus One of the Peak of Fiction podcasts is a 4.5,
so I guess that means
Okay.
which puts it above, believe it or not, dear listeners, uh, All Star
and
Superman.
they're gonna believe it easily. Gonna believe it easily. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I mean that makes logical sense.
Uh-huh.
That makes sense.
All right.
That does make
Um,
sense.
should I tell them? Should I tell them what All Star Superman's rated?
You know what, dude?
I wonder.
Hey,
No, no,
I'm
no,
not
no,
scared of no
no, no. That
smoke. I'm not.
we can keep that as a mystery number. I think over time people will be able to figure out what the number is by seeing what's higher or lower. But it will surprise you, shocking even.
Will it though? Will it?
What the number is? I can't believe you're taking this stance because it's a beloved comic by like everyone.
By who?
And you're like, oh no,
By
no, no,
who?
there's a contingent. By wider society, bro. If you ask anybody what's one of the best comics, All Star Superman comes up in conversation. And you're like, oh no, no, there's you represent the silent majority of the people
if All
who
Star
hate All Star Superman.
if All Star Superman is one of your top comics, then you must not read a lot of comics, bro.
Anyway,
Crazy.
anyways,
Moving on.
speaking of comics, and we can we'll see where this comic rates in comparison to All Star Superman. Next week we will be covering in Peak of Fiction one of the biggest events in comic book history. Definitely one of the top like 5 events in Marvel Comics. An event that kickstarted off like a whole era of comic book characters, changed a lot of continuity, and really altered many character arcs. I'm talking about the one, the only Marvel's Civil War. And we'll see next week who is Team Cap and who is Team Iron Man. We'll see where if any allegiances change after reading material. So we'll be covering Marvel Civil War, the main book, which is 7 issues, as well as Civil War Frontline and the Spider-Man tie-in comic. We may reference other tie-in comics, but the core bit that we'll be reading is the Spider-Man tie-in, the main Civil War story, and Civil War Frontline.
Sounds good.
So we
Super. it's time to
Look
tell.
forward.
Yeah,
We look
absolutely.
forward to seeing everybody next time.
Hmm.
Um,
Right here on your telephone.
but till next time, keep it peak and never stop searching for the best fiction possible. Don't settle for less, is what I'm saying.
Settle for less. Appreciate the mid.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
You gotta
appreciate the mid. Um, but don't subject yourself to mid constantly. Seek the peak. Seek the peak.
Stop watching AOT
okay.
and start watching Rent a Girlfriend.
Yeah, that's
This
actually
is
Yeah,
yeah. When
all
does the
right.
sarcastic.
girlfriend come out?
I'm cutting out the sarcasm. All right, I hope you know.
That
What?
was sarcastic. That was
When are
sarcastic. That was
when are
sarcastic.
we? Yes, you and me
Who is
reading
editing?
Rent a Girlfriend.
All right. Goodbye,
I
everyone.
All right. See ya.
see ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Peak of Fiction. Cover art for Peak of Fiction is by Novacatus, and music is by Gadgets. Stay cool and never stop seeking peak.
Stop watching AOT and start watching Rent a Girlfriend.